Apparently, DC Comics round robin tournament to coincide with the NCAA Final Four is going to be an annual thing. We got it last year and we're getting it this year. Actually, the vote is ongoing on Twitter, Instagram, and I believe you can go to the DC Infinite website. That's their digital platform. I've seen the results so far. I'm going to talk about the details of the tournament. I will give you the breakdowns, who I'm favoring in these, or at least not who I'm favoring, who I want to win, not who I think will win. And then we'll go over who's winning at the time. Now, we must keep in mind, the last time they did this, we got Tim Seeley's Robins, which has been one of the worst comic books of, the last 6 months. It's been absolutely putrid. You can see why DC Comics, despite the name of the comic being Robins and being a story I think that was foolproof, didn't initially give this one the green light and actually had to take a fan vote to do it. This thing has been absolute trash, and it even had to resort to what I would call risque covers of the Robins themselves. Buyer beware, just because something wins the round robin tournament does not mean that it's good. Beginning March 29th at 12:15 Eastern, fans can begin voting in round one, which pits various potential titles such as Hawkman and Hawkwoman, The Changeling, Suicide Squad Dark, Constantine and the Demon, Vacation from Hell, and more against one another. Round one lasts until April 3rd, and for round two, DC will unveil the creative teams, pitches, and cover art. Voting for that round lasts from April 5th to 10th, and votes for all rounds can be made through DC's Twitter and Instagram accounts, as well as DC Universe Infinite. Voting ends on May 17th, and the winner will debut in September as a digital first series on DC Universe Infinite before arriving in print and on Comixology in October. So there you have the deets, folks. As I mentioned, we got a big bracket busting tournament, and I'm going to be honest, I kind of like these. I think some of the titles are stupid. I like a little interactivity with the old publisher. I even do the X-Men fan vote that apparently is also annual now, and I certainly voted for all of these. First up, we have Hawkman and Hawkwoman, The Changeling. Hawkman and Hawkwoman have never had children together. They know that for a fact. Then who is Hector Hall, the hot-headed razor-winged teen who claims to be their son? Can they trust their own memories or each other? That comic is going against Wildcat 9 Lives. Wildcat spent 8 of his 9 lives showing the ropes to some of the DC Universe's heaviest hitters, and he's got the sacred knuckles and reset bones to prove it. Now he's only got one more life to go. How fearless would you be if you knew it was your last round in the ring? Currently, Wildcat is leading this, which is a big disappointment to me. I'm going to admit, I don't exactly love the pitch for Hawkman and Hawkwoman, The Changeling, but I'm here for the ride. This is the one that I want to win the whole tournament. There are a couple others that I like, but this is the one for me, and I hope that it does win. Who knows? Maybe Robert Venditti's on it. They're not even telling us the creative teams. It could be good. So that's who I'm voting for. Like I said, people apparently don't agree with me. Now let's get to the next matchup. The question, grand solution. What happens when people from all walks of life are activated as faceless vigilantes, each forced to solve an alternate reality game where the stakes are life and death? That's the question. But does Renee Montoya have the solution? That comic is going against Constantine and the Demon, Vacation from Hell. Arcane Guile meets Hellish Fury. John Constantine is forced to play host to Etrigan the Demon, and the pair embark on a deeply personal and potentially apocalyptic mission. Journeying back home to Liverpool, Constantine must confront ghosts from his past, and Etrigan isn't exactly his first choice for an ally. Currently, Constantine and the Demon are winning. I like the question, but I don't really like Renee Montoya as a question. It feels like a weird match. And me personally, the real question never really got enough playtime in DC Comics. I know he's had some classic runs and stuff like that, but there's no reason to change the mantle out on that character. I like Constantine. I like the idea of a chain-smoking British guy that can summon demons and whatnot. And who knows, a Lethal Weapon buddy comedy team-up between Constantine and Etrigan could be fun. Let's go to the next matchup. Suicide Squad Dark. A team of occult misfits and monsters assembled by Amanda Waller and led by Vampire Batman are forced into a mind-melting suicide mission to assassinate Earth 13's League of Shadows versus Justice League Redacted. Green Arrow has watched many heroes, the great, the good, the kind, be forever scarred by the darkness they swear to fight. Rather than sit by and let any more of his friends fall to the festering abyss, he decides to create a Justice League Black Ops team of fighters who can survive a few more shadows, because as far as he's concerned, they may already be lost. Green Arrow's team of Nemesis, Killer Frost, Manhunter, Metamorpho, and Cheshire are needed more than ever. Green Arrow was worried about what happens when you look the abyss in the eye. That goes double when Johnny Sorrow and Merlin team up. Currently, Justice League Redacted is in the lead. And just seeing the name Justice League Redacted, I assumed it was Justice League Queer, JLQ or something like that. But reading the log line or the details that they do give to us, it doesn't exactly sound like that team. It sounds like a Justice League kind of Suicide Squad mashup type thing led by Green Arrow. Sounds perfectly fine. Me personally, I voted for Suicide Squad Dark. That definitely isn't going to win. Unfortunately, I like the name Suicide Squad Dark. I don't know that Vampire Batman is my favorite character, but it certainly sounded like an interesting idea to me, and it has a good, solid team name to it. Now let's look at the next matchup. Firestorm Fourth World Problems, when Ronnie Raymond and Jason Rush make the startling discovery that the Firestorm Matrix contains a spark of the life equation. Darkseid and his army turn their sights towards the teenage nuclear heroes. But can Ronnie and Jason put their differences aside and combine into Firestorm? Or will Darkseid claim the Matrix for himself in Apocalypse? That is going against Kid Flash, the Speed of Fear. Reverse Flash melds with Parallax in an unprecedented combination of the Speed Force and the fear-based Yellow Power Ring to create a deadly speed ring. To shatter Oa's central Green Lantern battery, a confused and isolated Kid Flash, Wallace West, must chase Thawne across a variety of alien worlds to stop him, and the Sinestro Corps, while his own powers die because of Kid Flash's slow disconnection with the Speed Force itself. As expected, Kid Flash is absolutely waylaying Firestorm, which I personally find very disappointing. Firestorm is a really, really cool character. We just never get him see him featured. I think the last time he played a big part in anything was like Blackest Night. Is that like 15 years ago? Is it longer than that now? I really would like to see a cool Firestorm story. This one sounds perfectly fine. I wouldn't mind seeing him face off with Apocalypse and Darkseid, and obviously some bigger heroes would probably have to come in and help him save the day. But if I'm being honest, the Kid Flash story sounds perfectly fine. Seeing Reverse Flash and Parallax become one sounds like it's been done before, but it is not a bad comic book pitch. So I don't think you can go wrong either way there, but I was rooting for Firestorm, and I am disappointed. On to the next matchup. Black Canary, When Canaries Cry. When Black Canary intercepts an intelligence operative trying to deliver sensitive material on an encrypted disk, she finds herself plunged into the world of espionage to contend with an international consortium known only as Mysterium. With the help of a French spy, Dinah must stop this shadow organization from instigating war for their own profits. That is going against Green Lantern, The Light at the End of Forever, a dark, far future, a galaxy gripped by tyranny, when an elderly farmer in a backwater system is brutalized by the latest thugs with jetpacks and jackboots to call themselves lawmen. He remembers a forgotten past, an era of champions, a cadre of noble peacekeepers long since vanished. His name, he's sure of it, is John Stewart. Whatever happened to the Green Lantern Corps? And is it too late to reignite the light? Black Canary is winning this one, I believe, handily. I think one of the things holding back that Green Lantern pitch is we're essentially watching that story play out, or at least we were in Jeff Thorne's Green Lantern. Although I think it might have been canceled without anyone telling us. It hasn't been solicited post issue number 12, and we've heard nothing but crickets from DC Comics. As far as the Black Canary story, that sounds perfectly fine. That sounds like a lot of fun. I like espionage, so that could be a good one as well. Now let's get to the next matchup. DC Horror presents Ghost Tour from Hell. A frantic mother begs for Madame Xanadu's help in finding her missing son. Last seen on a ghost tour with friends, Xanadu's reading reveals there's a nefarious being behind the disappearances in New Orleans. Enlisting the help of Demon Etrigan and Deadman, the trio quickly realize they're on a ghost tour from hell, and there's no match for these supernatural kidnappers. That is going against Animal Man, the Metamorphosis. Buddy Baker, a.k.a. Animal Man, has serious problems. His life is in shambles. His daughter's powers are awakening, and the world needs him. But he's stuck. He needs change. Soon, Animal Man will enter a cocoon. But when the metamorphosis is complete, what will emerge? Not surprisingly, the Ghost Tour comic book is actually leading so far. I'm going to be honest, I do like Animal Man, but unless you got a name like Grant Morrison or maybe Scott Snyder or perhaps Jeff Lemire on it, it's probably not going to be worth printing it. That sounds like a really, really, really strange story where the DC Horror presents Ghost Tour books. Actually sounds like a lot of fun. So I definitely voted for that one, and I was happy to see that it's winning so far. And I think that's a good one that has a chance to make it to the end. Although there are some bigger characters with bigger fan bases in the tournament, so it will be rough sledding ahead for DC Horror presents Ghost Tour from Hell. But I hope it's got a fighting chance. Now let's get to the final two matchups. Green Lantern, The Birth of Conspiracy. In 1947, 3 events kindled America's fascination with UFOs: the Men in Black, flying saucer sightings, and the Roswell crash. 3 low-level government employees tasked with monitoring superheroes realized that one person was at all 3 events: the Green Lantern, Alan Scott. He hasn't been seen since. That is going against Captain Carrot and his best friend Darkseid. The interdimensional space epic no one asked for. Darkseid is trying to eliminate the newest new god, but the extremely furious, yes, we hate us too, Zoo Crew is determined to reach their long-foretold Captain Carrot first before friendship ruins everything. Not surprising, Green Lantern is actually leading this one. I would absolutely be on board for a Captain Carrot comic book, and I would definitely vote for it if it had a better plot than that. I would rather just have a Captain Carrot comic book rather than his friends kind of searching him out. I imagine he'll show up somewhat early, but it does have a good name. Captain Carrot and his best friend Darkseid sounds pretty funny, but not surprising the Green Lantern title is winning. Sounds like an interesting enough concept for a Green Lantern book, Alan Scott and why he disappeared, so that could be fun too. I definitely voted for the Green Lantern book, although I would have voted for Captain Carrot over Green Lantern if it had a better plot. Now let's get to the very last matchup. Superboy, the Man of Tomorrow. Determined to find his place in a strange universe, Connor Kent Superboy leaves Earth behind, but his journey of self-discovery brings him face to face with a group of freedom fighters who challenge not just everything Connor stands for, but what it means to bear the Superman crest. That is going against Cyborg, Cyber Gods. Cyborg has grown so powerful he no longer needs to leave his cold metal lair. He fights the good fight, but only virtually with Cyborg replicas. When the supervillain Gizmo and Clarion, the Witch Boy, mix magic and tech, they become powerful technomancers. Cyborg is joined by Beast Boy, who tries to remind him of his true power, his human spirit. Cyborg must reconnect with his human side and face the world, or Gizmo will become an omnipotent, unchallenged cyber god, and Clarion will get what he's always wanted: chaos and destruction. Superboy is currently leading, at least according to Twitter. Connor Kent deserves the opportunity to discover himself and the hero that he always should have been. I would love to see that character elevated in the DC Comics universe. Not a very big Cyborg fan, to be completely honest. He's all right in the Teen Titans. I don't really think he should ever be in the Justice League or whatever, but a Cyborg Beast Boy team-up book could be okay. Those are the 16 comic books that you can vote for this year's round robin tournament. There are definitely some pitches in there that I'm interested in, most notably being the Hawkman, Hawkwoman story, the Firestorm story, the Superboy story, and then my dark horse candidate, the DC Comics horror book, Ghost Story from Hell, which I actually think sounds like quite a hoot. Got a nice little cast in there. So I got my favorites. What are your favorites? Definitely want to hear it in the comment section. Just in case you needed a reminder that winning the round robin tournament does not mean there will be quality on the book. I made Doc review one of the issues of Robins by Tim Seeley. This thing is absolute trash. You got to see it to believe it. There's another bad comic book in here as well. So definitely check this out if you want to remember that just because your comic wins doesn't mean it's going to be good.